Hi, and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. My name is Nikki Kirk, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can get started selling on Amazon in 2025. Now is a great time to get started selling on Amazon. In fact, I actually started selling on Amazon right around this time of the year back in 2017. I started in August of 2017 when I sent my very first shipment in, and by December of that year, I was pulling out profits from my Amazon business to pay my bills. All of my bills, all of my living expenses. And at the time, I was RVing around the country. So I've actually RV'd all over, sold all over in all of the lower 48 states, and I paid for that with Amazon selling. I am still selling on Amazon today. In fact, I'm expanding my business. I am no longer traveling in an RV. I have a home base here in Oklahoma, this building that I built and paid for, all because I started selling on Amazon back in 2017. In this video, I'm going to go over how to set up your Amazon account on Amazon. I'm going to go over what to expect from this business that you're starting. And then I'm going to go over some basic beginner mistakes that sellers make, including myself. We'll talk about when you should join a BOLO group and why it's important. And I just want to tell you that now, again, is a perfect time to start because Q4, which is the holiday time period, so Q4, October, November, December, is a great time to be selling. And so now is when you want to get all the little tweaks out of the way, get yourself set up for success for Q4. All right, so step one, just setting up your Amazon account to begin with. So you are going to need some things to have with you when you go to set up your account. They are, you need a valid government issued ID or passport. You're going to need a bank account or credit card statement, and this needs to have your address on it that you are going to use for your Amazon business. You need a chargeable credit card or debit card, and then you need a mobile phone, and you're also going to need an email address. Now, I would set up a completely different email address than you've ever used for any of your other Amazon accounts. I keep everything separate. So this is my business. My business has this email. My personal have, 500 other emails. But you want to have one email that you're using because you're going to get a lot of emails to this, and you want it to be separate from your personal Amazon shopping. That would be my tip number one. You also, it doesn't have to be like, super professional, but you do kind of want it to be a little bit professional. It can just be a Gmail. It doesn't have to be you go out and buy a domain and all that, but you want to set it up a Gmail. So when I go over picking your store name, maybe that's the name you want to pick for your email as well, just so that they all tie in. You're also going to want to decide if you want to do this as a LLC, set up a business on the front end, and that can take a little bit of time. Not a lot of time. I think you can do it in like a couple days, but that could take a couple days. Or you can start it as a sole proprietor, which would mean individual, and you'll see that when we go through the Amazon screen to sign up. The difference is an LLC, I'm not like a legal expert, but the LLC is literally limited liability company, meaning that your business on Amazon, like if something should happen, no one can go after your personal assets. It's my understanding of it anyway. So it's just an added layer of protection for your business and yourself, but you don't need to have it. I did not have one when I started. I didn't think I did one until 2 years in. So I started as a sole proprietor, and then I changed my Amazon account later on when I did decide to form an LLC. So you'll want to decide that up front. Then we're going to want to pick your store name. Now, I would keep it professional because customers can see on Amazon your store name. So it doesn't have to be anything, extraordinary. You can probably see when you're shopping, if you've noticed it on Amazon, all the different store names. So it can be Nikki's Swap Meet, Nikki's Outlet, Nikki's Deals. It can be if you have an LLC with a business that you want to just use that business for Amazon, then you could use the literal name. You can literally name it. It's like a username on like Instagram or TikTok. You can literally call yourself whatever you want to, but I would just keep it professional because if someone decides to buy it, you don't want them to not buy from you just because of your name. So let's try to keep this professional because we are, after all, starting a business. You can also change the store name at any time. I believe I have changed my store name 4 or 5 times over the last 8 years for various different reasons. But yeah, you can change your store name at any time. So you're not tied into this. Again, it's like a username on a social media platform, only this is your store name. So once you start on Amazon, you're logging in, you've put your email address, your name, you go and you're creating your new Amazon account. It will literally look like you're just creating, you're a customer buying it, but you're doing it on sellercentral.amazon.com. Next, Amazon is going to ask you a couple of questions. Where's your business registered? So if you're watching this in the United States, you'd be in the United States, or wherever you're watching this, that's where your business is registered. And then you're going to see this type of business that you own. State-owned business, publicly listed business, privately owned business, charity, or individual. Now, if you're a business professional and you're watching this and you're like a brand or whatever, then if you have a privately owned business or a publicly listed business, then you would choose those options. For the most people probably watching this, we're going to decide between the privately owned business. Again, that would be if you opened an LLC, or individual. You do not have a registered business with the state, your state. But again, I started as an individual, and then if you have an LLC, that's when I changed to now I'm a privately owned business. So you'll just pick those, and then you'll see this next pop up again of what you're gonna need. So if you don't have those things with you, you gotta get up right now and go get them because you're gonna need them. So now you're gonna go through and enter your information. This is literally about you. So your name, again, I did individual on this instance because most small sellers who start as an individual. But you'll put your business. If you were doing an LLC, they would ask you for your business name there. So I did individual. It's asking me for my name, last name, where you're a resident, what proof you're going to use. So you can choose between a valid driver's license or a passport for the US. You'll enter the numbers, enter your address, all of that. The key thing you want to know about your address is this is the address. They are going to physically send you something. It's like a big card in the mail with a code on it to confirm that this is your address. They may or may not send that. They have been sending it, and they might ask for it later on in your selling journey. So I've gotten some later on where they want to re-verify my address. This is also an address that is going to be public on Amazon. It's not super public, but it is there. So if you don't want to have your home address, maybe consider getting a post office box or a UPS box, or all those different little, you can go rent boxes here and there. But it does need to be an address that you can get mail to, because you're going to get something to verify. It also needs to be the address that is going to match that utility bill or bank statement or credit card statement that you are using to verify your address. So you do need to have those things match. After we go through there, you're going to put in your valid credit card or debit card. Now, it's been some years, but there were some glitches when people were using a debit card. So if you have a credit card, I would highly recommend using that. But if you only have a debit card, that will also work. They have it listed that it will work. There was just some funky things that could happen. So eventually I would recommend getting a credit card just for your business specifically. You're going to want them separate anyways. So now we're not really having the decision anymore to choose if you want to be an individual or professional. You will sign up as a professional. It's $39.99 a month for the fee of being a professional seller. You get tons of perks. I would highly recommend. I've always been a professional seller. You can do individual, but if you're going to do individual, you lose out on a lot of things like getting the buy box, getting that add to cart button that you need to sell products, right? So you don't have that as a individual seller, and you don't have the $39 fee a month as an individual seller. So when I started, I signed up as a professional because this is a business. This was how I was going to make my income, and I needed to take it seriously. So of course, I've always just paid that $39. Now, it does charge your credit card the $39 every month if you don't have money in your Amazon account, like reserves. So I paid it it got charged to my credit card the first month, which I think was July technically because I opened my account in July. But then by the time August rolled around, I had sold stuff, and so the fee just got taken out of my Amazon reserve. So I never paid it to my credit card. Things never get actually charged to this credit card that I'm using on my account, but you just need to have one there for that first one. And then should anything happen down the line where Amazon needs to charge your credit card, you don't have any reserves. Okay, you can downgrade to the individual later on if you want to. I would not recommend that, but you do you. If this is just a hobby, you're not totally sure about it, go ahead. You can downgrade to an individual and you won't pay that $39 fee a month. If you do end up selling in Mexico, Canada, or any other countries, you might see that charge divided on your statements, your Amazon statements, of $14 here, $14 there, whatever adds to 39 because I didn't do the math right. But you'll see the charge maybe 3 times that month. It's always going to add to that $39 fee. Now, this is where you're going to want to pick your store name. This is where you want it to sound professional, not like my example here of Tutti Frutti, because I got some dog treats that are like Toot Fruit Loops or something, and I don't understand why a dog treat would have toot, because who likes dog farts? Anyways, besides the point. So you're going to want to pick your name here. It will tell you as you're typing it in if it's available or not. You'll see the little thing swirl and think, and then it'll say it's available. So Tutti Frutti, if you want it, is available. And then you're going to see these drop downs. Do your products have universal product codes, UPCs? Those obviously I think we all know, but they're the barcode scan that's on every product. I say yes. Do you have any diversification certificates that you want to add? So if you're a minority business, a women's business, a veterans business, an LGBTQ business, and you want to add that to your account, you can say yes or no there. And then do you have a brand, or do you serve as an agent or representative or manufacturer of a brand for any of the products you sell? I said no to that, and then you're going to continue on. If you are a brand owner and you have a brand that you're going to register on Amazon, you can go ahead and say yes. Then the next step is just your verification. So you're going to upload those images of your passport or your driver's license here. You're going to upload your proof of your address. Again, the address you entered has to match the address on that utility bill. And then it's going to get sent over to Amazon for verification. So again, you might get a postcard in the mail. They might have a video chat with you, in which case they'll set up a time and you literally just hold up your statements, your bank statements, everything. I don't think you can see them, but they can see you. And so they're just verifying that, yes, you are who you say you are, the addresses match and everything. That process usually takes about a week. So just plan for that as you're setting up and planning to set up your account. All right, so step 2, understanding this whole Amazon business, the Amazon framework, and what you're getting into and what you can sell. So there are some restrictions with selling on Amazon. You've probably heard me or other sellers talk about being gated or restricted or IPs and all the stuff that can happen. Selling on Amazon is technically simple, but it is not easy or for the faint of heart. It is going to be a small business that you're starting, so just keep that in mind through all of this. So the first thing I want to highlight, which you signed when you tick that little box when you're setting up your account, was that you agree to Amazon's Business Solutions Agreement. This is basically their terms of service, their legalese, and why or how they can shut you down for any reason. You are legally binding to agree to these things with Amazon. So there are some things that can get flagged, whether you did it or you didn't. Amazon's AI, whatever's happening back there, can flag some accounts and cause headaches for you. So just know that there are things that you are agreeing to and that you will abide by selling on Amazon. The first thing I want to highlight is that Amazon really doesn't want you to have more than one selling account. You technically can now. It used to be a red flag of a no, but now you can if you want to. I would not recommend it because they will get tied to you. Even so much as I have heard of sellers who have the same name as their dad or their mom, and they won't let them open an account because their mom or dad with the same name, even though they're a totally different person, have that same name, and so they're flagging it as that. So that's one thing to consider. The only reason you would ever really need that I can think of, you maybe you want multiple accounts, but is like if you're selling adult products, because you don't want to have your adult products with your rest of the stuff that you're selling. Amazon actually recommends to have 2 different. Because I don't think you can, I don't think I could sell adult products on my existing account. I would have to open another one if I wanted to do that. So that's thing 1. So highly recommend just one account. If you are in a situation where you have the same name as someone in your family, it might be a little bit more difficult. You can do it, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So just know that from the front. The other reason you don't want to have 2 accounts is they are tied to you. I don't know how it works. We're not going to get into that, but they do know who you are. And so if you have one account and you have another account and something happens on this account, they could, and I've heard of it actually happening, shut down your other account because this one was in trouble. So even though they're 2 separate legal entities, they know that it's tied to you. And so if one goes wrong this way, you could get flagged and this one shut down over here. So just another reason, one account. There are lots of restricted products, even more so now than ever, and brands on Amazon and categories. So when you first start, it's over the 8 years, it definitely has changed year by year. Some years grocery is totally open for new sellers. Some years grocery is not open for new sellers and they have to ungate it. Toy category is usually open, but you're gated in almost every brand of toy category, so you have to ungate the brands. Again, as part of my Bolo group, once you get set up and selling, so once you've got your account set up, you can log in, you can download the Amazon app, you can scan, you've been scanning, you kind of understand what you're doing, you are more than welcome to join the Bolo group, yoursellingguide.com/Bolo. It is an awesome community of sellers where we chat about what we're actually selling, right now. Like I share when I'm sourcing, what I found, other sellers are doing it. So it's current stuff that we're currently buying and selling, as well as just all the questions you are likely going to have as a new seller. You are welcome to ask them in there. And you get my ungating guides as part of that. Now, ungating is getting a little bit trickier, but again, you can ask in the group, like, who are you guys using? What's worked? What have you done? All of that part of the Bolo group. So there's category level restrictions. Then there's just like brand restrictions within categories. So my classic example is always kitchen is open, home is open. But if you scan KitchenAid is not, I can't sell it. Cuisinart, another one, I can't sell those. But so if you scan that thinking, oh, I can't sell because I scanned KitchenAid and Cuisinart, I can't sell kitchen at all, and you'll just write off the whole category. That's not the case at all. There's plenty of stuff in the kitchen category that you can sell. It's just some of the brands aren't. So just because it says you can't sell it, don't write off the whole category. Scan a bunch of stuff, and then if you see the category is totally gated, it might be just the category. A lot of new sellers get into the habit or mistake of focusing on what they cannot sell, but there is so much stuff that you can sell. So focus on what you can sell and not on what you can't, because that is just going to bog you down and not make you happy. But there's lots of stuff out there that you actually can sell. So try to focus on that as you're opening and growing your business. I only sell new products. I would highly recommend you also only sell new products. Now, if you have some used products here and there that you just want to throw up there to see if you can get rid of them, fine. But I'm selling all new products because I want the new condition. I don't want the customer to think it's used in any way. So I only sell new products. I sell my used stuff, this pile of stuff over here. That is stuff that is listed on eBay that I'm trying to sell, that it was either returns from Amazon or I couldn't sell them, or they got gated or something happened and I've got them back and now I'm listing them elsewhere, but not on Amazon. When you are in store and you're scanning, you can actually ask for approval right in the app, and I highly recommend you do because you can get auto-approved in a lot of stuff. The last time I was sourcing, I got auto-approved in 4 different brands, which was really exciting because I hadn't been auto-approved in anything in quite a while. So you can get auto-approved right away. If you go ahead and you hit ask for approval and ask for invoices, that means you're going to need invoices to get ungated. You can still get ungated. You just need to buy the required amount that they want. But there's lots of stuff that you can actually get auto-approved, and we're always sharing in the Bolo group, hey, this brand got auto-ungated, so that other sellers can go and be, oh, let me check if I can auto-ungate Crocs. You never know what's going to auto-ungate for you, and every seller account is different, so we're always sharing in that group different things. So definitely another reason you might want to join. All right, step 4, setting realistic expectations. This is so important because there's so many people out there on YouTube, on TikTok, on social media, whatever, saying Amazon's this, I made this much money, blah, 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 it's great. It is, but it is not going to happen overnight. It is not a get rich quick or get rich ever scheme. It is a lot of work. It's hard work, and it's going to feel like you are working and working and working and never getting anything back for a while. So go into it knowing that you might not expect any money back from your initial investment for 4 to 6 weeks. Like 0. I'm talking 0. You'll be selling stuff and you won't be getting any money back from Amazon for 4 to 6 weeks. So if you need a job to pay your bills, you're going to need another job while you're growing this Amazon business because you're not going to be getting anything back that fast. You can literally start with however much money you want. I started with $500. I would recommend $500 even today because you're going to need, I spent about $200 on supplies because you do need some supplies to sell on Amazon. I have lots of videos on that. And then you're going to need, money for your starting inventory. You can start with $100. If that's all you have to invest in your business, you can start with that and you can do it. So just whatever you have to start with that. You can start with more if you want to. The more money you have to invest in inventory, obviously the more you're going to sell and the more that snowball of profit will continue to go. I always recommend never taking any money out of your business for the first 6 months if you can help it. You can take money out whenever you need to. And I also recommend setting a small goal. So maybe you want to treat your family to dinner one night with profits from your business. That would be exciting thing number 1. Or maybe you want to make your $300 car payment from your Amazon business. So that's what you're going to be working towards, that you want to pull out $300 a month to pay that car bill. Or maybe you want to pay your rent and your rent is, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever. I don't know what rents are anymore. Depends where you live, I guess. But anyway, say you want to pay your rent with that. That can be your next milestone goal. I want to be able to pay my rent with this Amazon selling business. So just make those little goals for yourself so that once you start to pull out that $300 for your car payment every month, you're like, wow, I still have money in my business. I'm still able to buy inventory. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to pull out my rent from that too, or your mortgage or whatever. And you're like, okay, the business still has money. I'm still able to go buy inventory because you need more money to buy inventory, right? But as you keep going, that snowballing, you'll see those pulling out profits to live off of and why you started this business, hopefully, right, to begin with. So just know that you have to set that expectation on the upfront. You are not going to get rich. You are not going to get money quick. It's not rich quick, but not money quick either. And it's going to take some time to build. So set those expectations, write down your goals, adjust them as needed. Maybe your business takes off and you found a honey spot of something that's selling really well and you sold a whole bunch of it. Awesome. And now you can be, oh, okay, I hit that goal in 2 months and I was expecting 6. Now what's my next goal? Just keep setting those goals for yourself. Again, it is work. It's not just going to happen for you with you not doing anything. With retail arbitrage model, you have to go out and source the products. With online arbitrage, you'll be at your desktop or whatever, your computer, sourcing the products. So you're going to have to source them. They're going to get shipped to you or you're going to pack them up, whatever, however, if you can do FBA or FBM, whatever your business model you decide. I have videos on all of that as well. But whatever you decide to do, it's going to be work. So set that time commitment and why you're starting this. Tell yourself why you're starting this. Do you need money for XYZ? Do you want to build something for your family? Whatever that reason is, why your why of why you started, you want to make sure that you keep that on the forefront because you're going to need to set time for that. If you treat this like a hobby, you will get hobby results. But if you treat it like a business, you will get business results. So it all depends on you and your time commitment with it. If you can only do it 1 day a week, then just do it that 1 day a week. But know that you're going to get 1 day a week results. Now, that could be really good results. I'm just saying, I've always sold part-time, except for Q4. And guess when I sell the most stuff? It's when I put more of my time and effort into the business, right? So just know that going into it. Also, as a new seller on Amazon, there are some new seller initiatives. A lot of them are focused on brands and people who are going to be creating their own listings for products, private label, all that kind of stuff. But some of them are good for retail arbitrage sellers, and you will get those perks. For the Amazon FBA Fulfilled by Amazon initiatives, you will get $100 off your first shipment with Amazon Fulfillment Network. So that means your first shipments, I should say. So that means if you use the Amazon partnered carrier, which right now is UPS, but it could change. Anything could change. So it could be FedEx, a week from now. But right now it's UPS. So with that, you will pay through your Amazon account, you'll pay to ship those boxes into Amazon FBA, but they won't charge you for the first $100 of your shipping. So that's a huge bonus, especially when you're starting. You don't have to pay that expense. The Amazon Global Logistics, this is not really for us necessarily as retail arbitrage sellers unless you go into the whole global thing. So I'm not even going to cover that one. You'll get free storage, liquidation, and customer returns with automatic enrollment in the new FBA Selections program. I will just tell you that I am not enrolled with this. It has to do, and you can click on these and see them. I'll link everything below, but it has to do with when customers return stuff and Amazon will look at it themselves. Personally, I always get all my stuff back. Usually it's perfectly fine. And then I send it back in or I resell it FBM. Another great perk you will want is the $400 credit for inbound placement costs, allowing you to send inventory to a single fulfillment center. When you send, again, this is getting more into it, but when you send your FBA shipments in, it could send to 7 different warehouses. And if you only have 30 things you're sending in, I don't know what that, again, I'm not fast with the math, but you don't want to send, 2, 4, 5, whatever. There's a bunch of shipping that you're going to pay for these little items. With this, Amazon's saying we'll cover $400 of the placement fees so that you can send it to 1 or 2 warehouses instead of spreading it across 7, because that is a fee you will eventually pay. But when you're starting, Amazon is giving you $400 of credit. So again, that's a great perk to help you get this ball rolling. You'll also be exempt from low inventory level charges and from storage surcharges, which is like when you send stuff into Amazon and they're storing it for you at their warehouses, they charge you after so many months, they'll start to charge you. So you'll get exemptions for that for the first year, as well as the low inventory level. That's something I don't even think about. They rolled it out probably 2 years ago now, but it's never really affected me. So I'm not going to jump into it here, but you will be exempt from that also, which is a good thing for you. All right, now step number 4, you have your account set up, you are gonna get out there scanning. So at this point is when you might wanna consider joining the Bolo group. Like I mentioned, this is my baby of a group. It's the first service that I've ever offered. I love that group. We have hangouts once a month in there. We chat about all things Amazon. We're starting to chat about Walmart too, but it's focused only on Amazon. We're sharing bolos of what we're finding, everything that comes up, because things are gonna come up. But definitely you might wanna consider that. But you want to get out there and scan. So at Walmart, I always suggest doing the clearance aisle because you will have a lot of different categories in one aisle, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. You can scan at off-price retailers like Ollie's, Gabe's, Ross, TJ Maxx. I almost said Tuesday Morning, and that one's gone. Like on the East Coast, there's Rose's, there's Ocean State Job Lot, your grocery store. You can literally scan anywhere, but I highly recommend a clearance aisle. So even grocery stores have good clearance aisles. They're usually in the back, sometimes in the front, off to the side, but that would be where I would start. And you are going to scan a lot, and it's going to feel like you didn't find anything. And that might be the case. I think I scanned 3 days over the course of a week or 2 before I ever actually first made a purchase on something. But you want to make sure you're getting out there and scanning and getting the hang of it. You want to look for, you can set your own business goals, but what I do and what the Bolo group is I am always looking for a minimum of $5 profit. Now you can decide I'm good with $1, $2, $3, whatever you're good with that minimum profit. The reason I say $5 and why I've always stuck with that is because, one, that's what I was taught, but also because it works. Because when you do with selling on Amazon, there's unfortunately other sellers who tank the price for who knows what reason, but they tank the price. And so what will happen is that profit that you thought you're going to make $5, or say you said you're fine with $2, and then someone tanks it by $5, and now you're losing money, right? But if you said, okay, I want to make at least $5, you got a little bit more wiggle room. So maybe I will only make $1 on it, but when I sent it in, it was supposed to make $5. So that's why I have my minimum. You want to get comfortable with sales ranks, and you will get comfortable with them as you're scanning. But as a new seller perk, when you sign up for my email list, you get a whole bunch of helpful cheat sheets sent right over to you in your email. And so on there, I have my comfortable rank guidelines. So basically, if it's in the home category and it's this rank, it's like, go ahead and buy it. It's going to sell. If it's a higher rank in a category, it might not sell as fast. That cheat sheet breaks all of that down for you. The rank is really important. Make sure it has a rank. That is telling you if it's selling on Amazon. So if you don't have a rank, then it's could be not selling. It could be brand new. It could be selling so poorly that it doesn't even justify a rank on Amazon. So there's a lot of different reasons. I have a whole other video, like I said, I got a lot of videos, that walks you through how to identify a good product, because that would be another 30 minutes if I sat here and talked about it. So I will link that video, but just you want to make sure that it makes a profit, first of all, and that it has a rank so that way you know it's selling. I have so many years and years of sourcing videos on my YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more of it, or if you just want to check out all my videos. They are there for you. I really appreciate the subscribe though, so thank you for that. And I have, you can watch me go sourcing. I break down, I talk about all the different tips. If you watch a video I did during Q4, I'll be talking about Q4 sourcing. When I'm out sourcing, I just share everything I see in the stores, and I give you all the tips so you can literally go sourcing with me there, watching those videos. The biggest thing I want to encourage you is, one, just start, because there will be that analysis paralysis. If you just keep thinking about it, you might not ever do it, but you really do learn this by doing it. It is, again, it's easy in theory, but it is a lot of hard work. It's simple in theory. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. So you want to get out there and you want to do it, because you're going to learn so much by doing it. You're going to learn so much by plugging into a community. So again, My Bolo group is there for you if you want to join it. It's a month-to-month group. You can join anytime. There'll be a Q4 group coming up later on this year that you're welcome to join if you want to. But yeah, getting that community, doing it, actually like getting out there and living it and doing it, breathing it is how you're going to learn best. So hopefully this video helped you start your Amazon account, get out there and start scanning. Again, I have so many videos on my channel. Would love for you to subscribe and hang out more with me in the Bolo group. You are starting something with this Amazon journey that could just change your life. It changed mine in a way I had no idea. So the skies are really the limit with you and your Amazon business. So get out there and get after it and come hang out with me while you do it.